Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you. I'm so happy you came back out to me again this evening. I know yesterday I was trying to have a good go live and we had some audio issues. I hope the audio issues are good now. Please let me know if they're bad. I'll try to fix them if I can. So last night I was talking a lot about the sales process. I was talking about the most important pieces to the sales process. And if you are involved in sales on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, you're an entrepreneur, any of those things, this is going to be very valuable for you to just kind of get a hold of your process even better. And if you're already doing good things, this is going to help to ensure you keep doing good things. And if you're not doing good things, hopefully correct and check what you're doing to make it even better. Remember, when it comes to your sales process, it's not marketing, right? Marketing is bringing that horse to water, which is awesome. I love that. Sales is making it drink. Different issue. A lot of people will tell you, I'm going to help get you more customers. I'm going to improve your sales. And when they say that, what they actually mean is, I'm going to make sure that you get more leads. More leads is good. I'm not against more leads at all. I want you to get more leads. I just want to make sure that we're not confusing more leads with better sales. Those are two separate things. For your sales to get better, it does not mean you get more leads. For your sales to get better, one of three things has to happen. One, your actual sales cycle gets shorter, right? So you used to close in 3 weeks, now you close in 2. You used to close in 3 hours, now you close in 1. Any of those are good, but it's got to be something better, right? You've got to have an improvement in your sales cycle, getting shorter and shorter. Second thing, you have a higher close rate. So you met 10 people, you used to close 3 of them, now you close 4. That's also better sales. Lastly, you're selling at higher prices, right? Your pricing now becomes higher. Every time someone comes in, talks to you, you're getting more dollars per meet. Those are the only 3 ways that you can have better sales. Again, I'm not against more leads. More leads are awesome, but more leads, that's better marketing, not better sales. So good, be better at marketing, but closing is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sales, not marketing. There are 3 aspects to your sales process here. Number 1 is your prospecting. Number 2 is your pitching. Number 3 is your closing. All 3 of those are valuable, but they are 3 separate phases, and you should understand them separately, and they all have 3 separate issues. When it comes to prospecting, number 1 issue, trust. Trust everything. Trust, trust, trust. I cannot overemphasize trust when it comes to prospecting. When it comes to prospecting, you want to be as specific as you can be, and you want to be able to touch your prospect as many times, as many ways as you can before you begin to pitch them. In fact, if you want people to trust you, stop talking about yourself. Now, that's going to sound crazy. As I start saying, I'm so awesome, I'm so great, I'm so awesome, people start saying, maybe you are, maybe you're not. You fall into, and this is very important for you entrepreneurs, you fall into almost an employee mindset. The idea of, please pick me, please pick me, please pick me. I don't want you falling into that mindset. I want you instead thinking, here are the benefits that I provide. Do you want those benefits? Awesome. I'm your guy, I'm your gal. That's how I want you thinking. So how do I know that? You've got to be as specific as possible with your benefits. Specific benefits. Specific. Here is what doctor's offices are looking for. And here's an example of what a doctor's office did. Here's what lawyers are looking for. Here's an example of what lawyers got and received from me. Specific benefits, as detailed as you can get, meaning as specific, not detailed. Let me change that language. I don't mean detailed. I mean specific. As targeted as you can get it. And you might say, Larry, if I spend all this time being very specific, pediatric offices, won't I miss all the other cool people who could benefit from my product or service? No, because once these people hear you, they will refer you out. Not just that, you can focus on prospecting on just pediatric offices for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, depending upon how long your sales cycle is, and then switch. And then when you switch, guess what happens? You're still an expert in the first one. The number 1 thing to remember when it comes to sales today, that is, back in the old days, it was very important for a sales rep to educate your prospect. Those days are over. Now your goal is to curate for your prospect. What does that mean? There's so much data. And if you've been out there prospecting, meeting people, if you're in the sales world, very often you find a big problem that we have. And that is when we get out there, people think they know more than we do. Why? Google. They went on Google, they checked you out, they checked everything. Oh, I know all these things. And they start asking you questions like they're the expert, right? Well, the problem is you can get trapped on that and you can start talking about all these other things that they're talking about. That's a mistake. Don't do that. You don't want to start talking about all these things that don't matter, showing how smart you are, having a I'm smarter than you contest. That's not going to go well. Instead, curate. Hey, yeah, there's all this stuff over here, and that's great. I'm glad you know that. What I want you to think about is what matters to you. Of all that data out there, what matters to you? It is more important that you know about your clients or your prospects' industries than your own. You might say, Larry, I know my industry so good. I'm so smart. Nobody cares. Nope. You're supposed to. You don't get extra points for that. You don't. You get extra points for knowing the other guy, the other gal, knowing their industry. That's critical. So specific benefits is your prospecting. You're trying to talk about others, not you, to gain trust. There are 4 ways you can prospect only for no exception to this rule. 1, cold call. Cold call includes cold emailing, cold mailing, whatever the case may be. It's all called a cold touch. Any type of cold touch needs to be specific and full of benefits, not details. If you detail a cold call, you lose them. I'm not joking. You will lose them. Do not detail cold calling. It is a bad idea. What you want to start doing is just broad-based. Remember, prospecting is similar to marketing in that it just gets them, The goal of phase 1 is to get you to phase 2. If your prospecting isn't getting people to want to have that sit down with you, it's failing. I want to make sure you're getting that sit down with you, that people are seeing it and going, you know what? I want in. I want that next step. I want that phone call or that meet. That's important. So make sure you're doing that. All right. So cold calling, benefits, specific, call to action. Your cold call, and by the way, if you want cool cold calling, if you're watching this on YouTube, awesome. Go right to the YouTube page. How to do a cold call script. It's right there. Details of how to do it. YouTube, the NeoSage YouTube page has a video specifically on cold calling. I'm not going to go into details here because the video's there. Just do that. If you want more, go to theneosage.com. There's more stuff there also. In any case, the cold call has to be specific. When you do a cold call, specific time of the day, 45 minutes, an hour, half an hour. You don't want to try to cold call all day. That's a bad thing. You don't want to cold call all day. You want to cold call short periods of time so you don't fall apart. Cold calling is brutal, but 85% of your cold calls are going to fail. Most are just going to go on a voicemail. Someone's not going to talk to you. So at least 85% fails. Short period of time, very focused on one type of a prospect, hit them, move on. All right. If it's a mailing, same concept. I don't want you to send a mailer to 3,000 people if you only have 3,000 enough money for 3,000 mailings. No, instead, send it to 1,000 people 3 times or 500 people 6 times, even better. Each one, many touches each time. And then if you can call later, even better. You can do an email blast, even better. Any of those things you can do to make multiple touches, better chance than to pick up that phone or respond to your email or respond to your text or whatever the case may be. So try that when it comes to cold calling. Second part, getting referrals. How do you gain referrals? Well, you can gain referrals through hoping for referrals. Good service. That's great, but that's passive. I want you to be active. How are you active? Picking up the phone, making those calls. Call your current customers and ask them if they're happy. If they're happy, then ask them for a specific type of person. Have you heard this? Have you heard that? Did you hear this? Give them trigger points for the future. What does that mean? Let's say, for example, you sell commercial insurance. Making that one up, right? Commercial insurance, or you're a commercial real estate broker, right? So you're out there moving people around, whatever the case may be. Any of these cases, what if someone have to think or see or hear or notice to think about you? If you're selling insurance, say commercial insurance, do you have to hear someone go, "Wow, I just started a new business," or man, I just started a new business model, or I just got an investor. Is that the type of thing you want to hear to where someone may want to change their commercial insurance? I just moved my office. Is that important, right? You might think I might want to move my office is good for someone who is a commercial real estate broker. Usually not. Real estate broker, if they say I'm moving my office, it could be too late. You're a real estate broker, you might want to see something. Do I see empty desks in their office? Do I see people sharing desks? Things like that. Are people cramped? Are there boxes stacked in the hallways? These are things you might want to look at if you're a commercial real estate broker. Someone needs to move or needs to sell or lease or something like that. You want to start telling people what are the trigger points so they can think about you. You do that well, you'll get more referrals. If they're happy, do that. And again, there is a video on how to get referrals. It's on the NeoSage YouTube page. Please go there if you like it. Specifically how to do that, gives you how to do it, exactly how to do it. Please go there, check that out. But that's great. That's referrals. Next, call-ins. I want people to call me. That's awesome. I hope they call me. That'd be great. How do I do that? By going to specific places where people who will need you or who will want you or who refer you will be. Specific. Generic, I'm a cool guy. While you may be a very cool guy, that's not going to get people to want to call you. But by showing value in other places, in specific places like pediatric offices, that kind of trade association, or being a speaker at an event, that'll get people to call you. Doing events like this, online events, live events, events where people can see you and go, that guy knows his stuff. He's specific to me. Awesome. Let me call him and see if I can use his services. That will work also. So yes, do that too. And guess what? Yes, there's a video on the NeoSage YouTube page on how to get call-ins. So please check that out for some specifics. But in each case, it is about talking about others' benefits, trust, critical piece. Last piece, networking. Got to meet people, right? Most people when they're networking, they hear a very bad idea. And that is, hey, when you're networking, I've got to give a cool 60-second pitch that gets my message across so that people know what I do. Totally wrong. Boring, doesn't work, don't do that. Instead, guess what you should do when you're networking? You got it. Talk about others, their benefits, their successes. And guess what else is true? Yeah, there is literally more than one video on the NeoSage YouTube page on how to meet people at a networking event and then how to follow up, right? Because I want you to be able to do both. Again, all about trust. That's how you make them want to come to your pitch. Now, for some of you, that may be one long piece where you're prospecting and pitching and then closing, boom, 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 all together at the same time. For some of you, that's a long sales cycle. You might be prospecting for literally weeks or months and then pitching, and that might be through an RFP or through multiple meetings, and the close might come late. It doesn't matter whether your sales cycle is 5 minutes or 5 months. Irrelevant. No matter what, the ideas are the same. Getting people to trust you so that when you go to the pitch, your pitch is believable is the key. That's how you deal with prospecting. All right. Hopefully you've done one of those three. You're moving to the next level, and that is now pitching. I'm in front of them, right? Or I'm on the phone, or I'm doing a Zoom call, or whatever. However you talk about your goods or your services, whatever that is. As you start doing that, the most important thing to remember when you do that is you've got to provide value. Remember, the first piece was trust. The second piece is value. Because everyone's telling people, I'm great, I'm the best, I'm great at this. All good. They all say that. You have to be able to convince them that you have actual value. And guess what that's about? Yeah, talking about benefits that other people have. Now, first step, there's 2 phases to the pitch, right? Within that phase of pitching, there's 2 parts, I should say. Part 1, that's the gathering of data. Now, most people, when they gather data, they have a list of questions and ask questions like, so what's your problem, or what's your situation, or what do you want, or something like that. These are all bad ideas. All of them bad ideas. They're generic questions that anyone could ask. I don't want you asking generic questions that anyone could ask. That's the wrong answer. I want you asking questions that are expertise questions. Questions that show, guess what? Yes, that you know them. That is correct. Not that you're an expert in your field necessarily, but that you're an expert in their field too. Remember, you're supposed to be good at what you do. Now, what do they do? Are you good at that? You're going to ask questions that have embedded facts in them. Questions like, hey, Most people like you have this issue. How about you? Most people in your situation want to do this. What's your situation? Note the questions are not yes or no. They're open-ended. Not just that, the fact is embedded. So one of two things is true. As long as what you're saying is accurate, meaning most people in that situation need something or want something, then it doesn't matter whether they fit that mold or not. If they do fit that mold, awesome, you've read their mind. They go, yes, it's exactly what I was concerned about. Oh my God, you're a genius. You're a mind reader. Perfect, good for you. If they're not, and they have some other issue or concern, still good, because you're still correct. They'll say, yeah, most people do have this problem. I don't, because I'm super cool and I have this other problem. And you can then tell them how cool they are and life is good. Either way, you win. They start talking. They will often give you history, which is what you need. And it's a good back and forth. Now, note, this happens before you pitch. Phase one is that. I don't want, let me tell you about our company. We've been in business 20 years. Boring. Bleh, nobody cares. And then you ask questions. Too late. They've already judged you. They've already judged you. Now you're trying to back off and all the issues they don't like, you're trying to hopefully get around and fighting objections. Terrible idea. I know it's the norm and it's a terrible idea. It does not work. Instead, ask the questions up front. But Larry, what if when I sit down, the first thing they say is, tell me about yourself, or I don't have time, or I've only got 5 minutes. I don't care what they say. If they're really that much of a jerk and they say, I got 5 minutes, go, shut up, just go, 5 minutes. You're not getting that deal anyway. Don't waste your time. Say hi, give them the highest price you can possibly give them, walk out the door. Have a nice day. I'm not joking. Time is important when it comes to your sales and marketing. Sales and marketing efficiency is critical. I don't want you wasting time or money. If you've got jerks out there who are treating you terribly, walk away now. You've just saved everybody a whole lot of pain. They want to punish somebody, let them punish somebody, not you. So even if they act that way, I don't have time, whatever, doesn't matter. You go through the same thing you would always go through. Ask your questions anyway. If they rush you out the door, you weren't getting it anyway. If they don't rush you out the door, guess what? They like you. They like what's happening. And if you've been in the sales game for a while, you know this is true. What happens often is they don't have enough time or whatever. Then all of a sudden, they like what you're saying. They found time. What a coincidence that is. The meeting was supposed to be 10 minutes and now it's 2 hours. Happens all the time. So if you ask the right questions, they will get it. It is not about a lot of questions. And people will tell you that all the time. You'll hear it. Sales trainers, sales gurus will tell you all the time. Yeah, ask a lot of questions. You have an issue. Questions, questions, questions. That is an error. That is a mistake. If you ask a lot of simple questions, you are annoying your prospect and showing that you did not prepare. You want few targeted, specific questions that get them talking. Just like Laura posted earlier. Yes, you're right, Laura. People love talking about themselves. So give them the opportunity to make that happen. Very short, specific questions that open things up. Fewer of them, not a lot of them. A lot of them shows, hi, I didn't prepare. I don't want you walking in going, I didn't prepare. I want you feeling like you know exactly what's going on. Do that right. You then move to the actual pitch. Now you're saying, Larry, you didn't detail questions. Guess why? Yes, indeed. There is yet another video on the NeoSage YouTube page on how to question prospects. Feel free to go to that. Details on that one. Awesome. Go there, check it out. It's all there. Enjoy. Now, once I've got the questions, I move to the second part of the pitch, and that is talking about me. Now, here's the funny part. I've gone through 2 pieces, and I haven't talked about me yet. Yeah, that's the point. Everyone talks about themselves. You don't talk about yourself until the third part, right? Second part of phase 2. Now you talk about you. No worries, you can. Here is the rule on this. Whatever you say about yourself, your experience, your credentials, your process, your background, your history, whatever matters, whatever is important, you may only say it if it directly links to a benefit for that prospect. Otherwise, you are wasting your breath and wasting their time. Don't bother even saying it. You don't, well, we got 20 years of experience. And that means what? Nothing. If anything, you've just said, I should not look for someone who has 21 years of experience and they're better than you. I don't want you doing that. I want you using very specific transitional phrases like, which means that, so you can, phrases like that. We have 20 years of experience, which means you get this. We use this special process, so you can be sure of that. We have this credential, which means you know this thing is true. Insert thing just like that. And I want it to be that crystal clear, slap you in the face, obvious. Remember, your prospect, it is in their best interest to make you a commodity. If they make you a commodity, then it's just price. Nothing else matters if you're a commodity. It is in their best state of emotional interest to make you a commodity. You must fight that and not be one. We started with good, I hope, good trust in our prospecting, and now really good value in our pitching. And the value becomes, we do this, have this, act this way, have done this, which means you, so you can. This means so-and-so to you. Very crystal clear and specific. It is in their best interest to make you a commodity, which means they don't actually want to hear that you're better than anyone else. They want to hear you're the same, so price is easy. They have a barrier up that will begin to block that. If you had good questions, you should have brought those barriers down, right? But if you start pitching well, lots and lots of value. Because as I said, the goal of the actual pitch is to build value. Why? Value for the close. If you have a lot of value, the close becomes a whole lot easier. A story I brought up yesterday, and I'll bring it up now too. We're going to the close now. People often ask me, Larry, can you teach me how to close? I would like you to show me how to close. Well, that'd be great. There's a problem with that. Sales is very much like courting, traditional male-female courting, right? Traditional. Takes time. Hang out together. And imagine you're a young woman being courted by a young man. You date. First couple dates, they're not great. They're okay, not wonderful. There's not much chemistry. He's nice, but he's not great. You then hang out a couple more dates. It's not great. There's no sparks. He's okay. You kind of think about breaking it up. And then all of a sudden he says, hey, let me take you to this very cool spot. Takes you to, I'm a Yankee fan, Yankee Stadium. And Derek Jeter comes out of retirement to say hi and shake your hand. And now there's famous people around. It's awesome. And there's fireworks and your name is on the scoreboard. And he says, will you marry me? Are you going to marry the guy? Probably not. Even though the close, the commitment was amazing, right? I mean, come on. Derek Jeter, Yankee Stadium, fireworks, awesome. Still probably not. Because the actual courting, the prospecting and the pitching wasn't so great. But go the opposite way. Dating someone, you're a woman, dating a man. The man takes you out often. You like him. He's funny. He's smart. He's sexy. There's sparks. There's chemistry. You can't wait to be around him. He can't wait to be around you. It's awesome. It feels good, 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 good. And he takes you out to a diner. It's not great. No Derek Jeter. He happens to know the server there. That's it. It's a nice meal. Not great. It's nice. He asked you to marry you. He asked you to marry him. You're probably going to say, yeah. Wasn't the best close. It was not bad. Wasn't great. But every other part was good. Sales is just like romance, which is why I love it so much. Yes, I'm romantic. So I look at sales like romance, and that's why I love it, and that's why I teach it. It is just like that. You can't just close well. You've got to be able to move through the entire process to make the close easier. That's why I don't just teach people to close. I teach the entire sales process. Prospecting, pitching, then the close, which I actually don't call it the close. I usually call it the commitment because I want there to be a commitment to the next step, depending upon how you close, right? For some of you, it's I get on the phone and I'm done and it's closed. For some of you, it isn't that. For some of you, it takes a lot of time. It may take 2 or 3 meetings, or you might have to have a meeting with HR and then the CEO or whatever. In that case, your close is a commitment to the next step, whatever that step might be, if that's the kind of sales for a sales cycle that you have. But either way, as I said, the key to prospecting was trust, and the key to pitching is value. The key to the close of commitment is confidence. At this point, most people, you will see them all the time, when the close comes, they falter, they shake, they get concerned, they back off. Just when I need your confidence most, you begin to fall and fall back and aren't sure. Happens all the time. And you need it most right here. Look, the confidence is critical. Why? At the core, and I mean the actual deepest core, the reason why someone says no to you is fear. That's the reason. They're afraid of something. You're not the right person. It's the wrong price. It's a cheaper price someplace else. The product is incorrect. The timing is wrong. Whatever. They're afraid of something. They're going to make an error or a mistake. They're afraid of this thing. It's fear. What allays fear? Confidence. Confidence is what allays fear, which is why, if you heard this before, right? A con man. Con man comes from confidence man. That's where it comes from. The idea of a con man is a confidence man. So I want you to realize confidence becomes critical in your commitment. How can you have confidence? By having a very good prospecting phase and a very good pitching phase. If you spent the time pitching well, you've shown all your value, and hopefully at that point, you will actually believe it. And sadly, for many of you who are in service industries, particularly if you're the one doing the service, artists, graphic designers, graphic artists, painters, photographers, things like that, right? Those types of things, many of you feel almost like your art is a passion. You don't value it. It's something you enjoy doing. So when the close comes and you're not very confident, or the proposal pitch comes and you're pitching terribly because you don't realize the value of your own work. But if you spend the time to literally say, here's what I have, or here's what I do, and here's the benefit to you, and you hear it, and you see them go, yeah, that's true. Yes, I get it. And it's an agreement. You will become more confident in your commitment to close. Another reason why I want you to go through the phases the way I said, so that when the close comes, you are ready to rock and roll. I want you to be confident in your close. So when you're starting to do that close, again, you've gone through your entire pitch, proposal, you're done. You give them a price if you do pricing. If you don't do pricing on the first meet, if you have to go back to your office and create a proposal or something like that, create pricing or contract, if that's your style, the commitment is to the next step, right? The next meeting, the next phone call, the next thing. If it's not, if you can give pricing and close then, you should. If you can close when you're in front, you should. If you can't, you can't. Let's assume two sides. One, you can't. It's not how your business works. Once you gather data and show who you are, you then have to go do some kind of proposal or some kind of pricing. No worries. You're going to ask them very simple questions, something like this. This is called two options, both yes. The first thing is you give them some kind of question to where they're going to say yes. Something like this. Is everything clear? Does that make sense to you? Something like that, to where they go, yeah, I get it. I see where you're coming from. I see your value. I get it. They say yes for some reason. Awesome. Great. So for our next step, can I reach out to you next Monday or next Tuesday? Can I reach out to you via phone or email? Is the next meeting with you and the CEO or you and the CFO? No, I don't care what the two options are. You create them depending upon your sales process. But no matter what, there's two options. Both are yes. It's not, do you want to meet or not? That's not two options, both yes. One of those is no. Bad option. All the options are yes. So I'm meeting at your office or my office, this week or next week. But Larry, what if they can't meet this week or next week? Then they'll tell you when they're going to meet. It's fine. I don't care as long as you meet. As long as you're moving through that process, I'm good. So they give you an answer, you're rock and rolling, life is good. So first, a question of yes, somehow they say yes, and then two options, both yes. The same concept works if you're giving pricing. So now I'm giving some pricing. Here's my price. It's X dollars. It's whatever it is. Awesome. Love that. So there's some kind of pricing. You give them the pricing, the same idea. You ask them, is it okay? You understand everything on the price. You get it. And they say yes or no, right? Hopefully they say yes. We'll go on the issue that say no in a second. But assuming they say yes, right? They go, yeah, I understand. I get the price. Makes sense. You go, great. Are we looking at starting this week or next? Is this going to be with a credit card or check? Are you going to sign the contract? Or is your CEO gonna sign the contract, etc.? Same idea. Two options, both yes. This is called an assumed close, and you should always be in the form of an assumed close if you had a good prospecting phase and a good pitching phase. Should be no problem moving to an assumed close. Now, at that point, they'll do one of two things. One, they'll say, you know what? Let's start next week. Awesome. Begin your close. if you have a contract, whatever you have, begin your close. If they don't say that, they go, wait a minute, I'm not sure, too expensive, I don't know. At that point, now you're dealing with actual resistance. No worries. Guess what? I have a video on the NeoSage. Yes, it's correct. The YouTube page, the NeoSage, has a video on how to deal with things like prices are too high and having a commitment. If you want to, please feel free to go to theneosage.com, the web page, not the YouTube page. You can get even more details if you want. So that's how you move through each one. Understanding prospecting is all about trust. Pitching is all about value. And the close of the commitment is all about confidence. If you move through that way, here's what I promise you. You will have better sales. It doesn't mean you're going to close everything. You're probably not. But you will have better sales. And as I said, better sales is one of three things. Your sales cycle will shrink, or your close rate will go up, 3 in 10 to 4 in 10, whatever that might be, or you'll start closing at higher dollar values. Any of those three, that's what I want. And if you do that, you are winning. I didn't get many questions. That's okay. I'm happy. I hope that was good for you. Remember, if you're watching on the YouTube page, great. Check out the videos. They're right there. If you're watching on Facebook, head over to the YouTube page, the NeoSage YouTube page. Watch the videos that are there. Enjoy them. If you want more, go to theneosage.com. You can purchase a bunch of videos, a bunch of classes on all forms of things: sales, leadership, career, small business, whatever you like. Please enjoy. All right, guys. Hope that was good. Talk to you soon.